I had so many bruises on my chest that you couldn't even touch me because it hurt. I had bruises on my lips and on my face.
Stupid. You're stupid, racist, African wannabe, false prophet, demonized warlock, witch doctor, fake miracle working person, antichrist spirit person. Your church is a synagogue of Satan. Shame on you trying to blackmail me. Passion Java. Hacking people's YouTube accounts, hacking people's Facebook accounts, hacking people's Twitter. There's videos of him bragging about how he's taking people's accounts down. And it's all forms of bullying. And when I started speaking up, I got a call from someone who had left this church saying, listen, they're going to bring a bunch of lawsuits or defamation or cease and desist against you. They're going to try and pit people against each other. And they said, this is what they're known to do. And then you have Passion, who is more people I know he's done this to, who are going to slowly come out. And I've been trying to be diplomatic about it because I can't expose other people's stories, right? They haven't given me consent or permission to talk about their stories, or are not ready for whatever reason the case may be. But now they're coming out and speaking. And I knew yesterday that after I talked about the whole rape thing, that my account was going to be targeted. So for the first time during the live stream, I know Lovi's watching this. Lovi, you gay Tinkerbell. You know, it's giving Tinkerbell and the Lost Boys. You little man.
Hi, my name is Katie, and I want to tell you my story of the suffering that I endured at Kingdom Embassy at the hands of Passion Java, Innocent, and Tim Panasuk at Kingdom Embassy in Atlanta. Now, this is not easy for me to tell my testimony, but I'm just going to be me. I'm just going to be Katie, and I'm just going to share my story. And I want you to know who this story is for. Although many more people of the world might see my testimony or the exposures that are pretty deep, this video and my testimony is really for all the people in Kingdom Embassy who feel trapped, who don't know how to come out, who knows what they're seeing and what they're suffering through is not of God, and it's not okay, even though they're being tricked or coerced or manipulated, just like I was. So I just want to tell all my friends and family from Kingdom Embassy, it is okay to be bold and to come out from under the hellish, disgusting, manipulative witchcraft church and cult under the hands of Passion Java. So my story starts with how I got there. How did I get to Kingdom Embassy? Well, I started in Kingdom Embassy Atlanta back in December when they first came to Atlanta. I think it was the end of December, the beginning of January. They were opening a brand new branch right here. Okay. I've never done a live on YouTube, so. And I came to Atlanta because I wanted to serve God. I was seeking after him. I wanted to learn more of the prophetic. I wanted to go deeper in Christ. I wanted to know God. And I got there because I was first watching Lovi. I was watching Lovi online, and I was seeing what I thought was of God and all the things he was doing. And I was like, I want that. God, I want to do that. I want to free your people. I want to deliver your people. I want to be able to hear like they hear and see like they see. And so what happened is I went and looked for, well, I guess they call them spiritual fathers, right? I didn't grow up in churches like that, so that was new to me. And I looked up who his mentor was, and I saw that Passion Java was Lovi's spiritual father. And I will say 99.99% of everybody from a whole year that I spent boots on the ground with people in Kingdom Embassy and serving, almost all of us came to Kingdom Embassy under Java because we trusted that Lovi was a man of God. It was very rare to run into someone and they came to Kingdom Embassy because of Java. In fact, nobody really even knows who he is. Everyone only knows him because of Lovi. I'll digress from that. I'm gonna stay forward. More to come later, I'm sure. And so I looked him up, and then I saw Java was coming with this guy, Tim Panasuk, and they were opening a church right here in Atlanta, Georgia. And I knew I was supposed to go, and God was sending me to go serve. And so I went and I started serving, and within 2 months, I was already being asked to travel. So I think it was in February. I don't remember the date. It was the end of February. Java came to Kingdom Embassy Atlanta to do a conference. And at that time, I was working in the green room. And so I saw everything, I heard everything. And they were in there, and Java said, "Hey, get that oil, Katie, and come over here. I'm going to anoint you." And so at that time, I didn't know anything about any of these people. And so, of course, he anointed me. He prayed over me, or what I thought he was doing was praying over me. And that week, I had a very horrible, lustful, disgusting dream that just makes me upset of Java coming into my dreams and violating me. And I was very perturbed. I was very upset. I was disgusted. And so I'm just thinking like, oh, the devil is a liar, blah, blah, blah. And this is what we do. This is what we do. Something happens and we kind of just toss it away. Especially in Kingdom Embassy. We're taught to do that. Push everything away and don't think about anything for yourself. And so how did I get to trust them? So I started spending a lot of time with Tim Panasuk. Everyone thought I was either his wife or his sister. So we started doing everything together. He started bringing me to Zimbabwe. We started traveling to Africa and some other places, which we'll talk about in a second. And I'm with the man of God, and he's doing all of these things, and I'm thinking it's God the whole time because I'm chasing after God, and they're doing these things, so I think it's of God. But they would do weird things. And one of the weird things they would always do is they would always have you eat off of ProphetPassion's plate. It was so weird. But I'm like, okay, maybe it's the African culture. I don't know. Maybe that's what they do. And they would say, no, you can get the anointing and you can get what the prophets have just by eating their food. This is what they teach us in Kingdom Embassy. And so it's always, first of all, Java never finishes a plate of food. Trust me, I've been around the world with him. I've been in green rooms. I've seen, we've been in, what is the word? Grooming. Whoever he was grooming at the time. Now, obviously, my story's in retrospect because when I'm in it, I'm not realizing really what's going on. I'm going with the flow of things. So I'm talking also from a retrospect point of view as well. So we're constantly eating at his table, off of his plate, and all of his food. It's so weird. But they start to make everything normal, right? And I'm very inquisitive, so I like to ask questions. And so I would start asking the men of God that are very close to Java, that are with him all the time, who I got very close with. I would ask them, why do we do this or why do we do that? And they never would give me an answer. They would always say things like, oh, because that's just the way it's done, or we don't question the prophet, he is God. They would teach us, they would program us constantly, because we were always together. It is as if Java is God. So one time I go to Maryland, I travel to Maryland. He's having a CCC conference. What that is it's a mentorship. Actually, it's a grooming group for single women, single mothers, or women that don't have husbands, men who are really involved in their life, or fathers. That's really what it's for mostly. And he calls it a women's mentorship group, and I can say a lot about that. But we were there that weekend for that. And what he does is he says he trains up women in the prophetic, right? So we're all excited because we're chasing after God, thinking this guy's going to teach us what we're going after in our heart with the Lord. And just things started to get weird. So of course I can say many, many things because I've been all over the place with them. But on my last trip, so I haven't been around Kingdom Embassy. I left 10 months ago. 10 months ago this month. And we're in March of 2005. So this was last year. I believe August is when I fully left everything. And my last trip to Zimbabwe, Africa, it was when he did the big stadium conference where he went and Lovi came and everything, and it was a joke. But anyway, so we go there and we're there for 2 weeks to do that. And what he does is he keeps us up all night long. I'm trying to teach you guys or tell you my testimony, because I'm about to tell you some really difficult stuff that I got myself into, the cult stuff, the horrible side, the dark, evil, wicked side that's happening to us women in there. So I want you to understand how I got there. And so it would be a constant grooming. So on this last trip that I was in Zimbabwe at that time, it was right before May. What's the month before May? I know, I'm being so real and raw right now. I'm not trying to be perfect. I'm not trying to be pretty for you. I'm literally just trying to tell you my story. And so anyway, so we're there around May, early May. And we're there for 2 weeks and we're up all night long. You get 2 hours of sleep. He does this on purpose. So they make you sleep deprived. You literally can't even think. You don't want to talk to anybody. When you get those 2 hours of sleep where they let you go to your room, then you get sleep. So what we're doing during those other times we're usually sitting in a crowded hot room with Java. And basically we are worshiping him. We are giving him money. We're telling him how amazing he is, about how much we love the last thing that he taught. And he always makes you go around the room. What did you learn from me that you really liked? Because he always loves to hear about himself. And so he says the name Jesus a whole lot, but he's only glorifies. I had bruises all over my body. I had bruises all over my body. I had so many bruises on my chest that you couldn't even touch me because it hurt. I had bruises on my lips and on my face where he choked me. He slapped me in my face. And I would yell at him and tell him, don't touch me. But obviously, he is stronger than me, especially when his demons come out. Because at this point, like, I'm literally seeing the switch where Passion Java's eyes are pitch black. And there's this deep growling voice that's coming out of his mouth. And as he's raping me, he's telling me to shut up. And I was so dazed and confused that he literally trafficked me to China and then used me as his sex slave for 3 days while we were there. Now I get back home and I tell my shepherd, my man of God, Tim Panasuk, who is supposed to be overseeing and protecting his flock. We're like this. We're in the green room everywhere. We travel everywhere. I'm at his house every day. I'm helping him. I'm taking up his offerings. And I go to him and I tell him, your father raped me and he abused me and he hurt me. And you know what he said? He said, well, what are you going to do about it, Katie? Because I hope you're not going to tell anybody. Because I don't know what people are going to think of me. And what they're going to think of Java if you come out and tell people. Like, Shepherd, I just told you what he did to me. And this is what he said. Now we're at the coffee shop. And this is what Tim tells me. He said, he had like this 1,000,000-mile stare on his face. And I looked at him, I'm like, what are you thinking? He said, I'm just trying to think. Has Java ever been alone with my wife? He said, because Java does a lot of stuff. Tim said, last year I've been with Java over 200 days out of the year traveling the world. And I've seen him do so many questionable things that I knew wasn't right, but I kept my head down.